Hey everyone, it's Albie. Welcome back to my channel. I have another Trope Tuesday video for you today. Today I'll be discussing monster romances. I think these are perfect for the spooky Halloween season, and I think many people will find a book that they will like from this list. So the first book that I want to talk about is The Dragon's Bride by Katie Robert. This has been one of my favorite books from the year. I've absolutely loved it. I love the cover so much. It is like sort of a vintage clinch cover that's very reminiscent of like ones from the 80s and just absolutely gorgeous. It is a fairly short novel. I don't believe it's even 200 pages. Yeah, it's barely 290 pages, so very short. It is, like I said, a monster romance. We have Briar Rose, who is our heroine, and our hero is Soul, who is a humanoid dragon. So he's a dragon, but has some sort of human male like characteristics as well. This is sort of a darker romance. I will say there is a trigger for an abusive spouse at the beginning, and it does have some dark content, but it doesn't necessarily dwell on it. So if spousal abuse is a big problem for you to read at this moment, I would say skip this because it's a heavy at the beginning, but it gets better. But like I said, our heroine Briar Rose has made a deal with the demon. This is a deal with the demon series. So this is book 1. And so she has decided to leave the sort of earthly realm and go to this kind of fairy tale land by making a deal with the demon whose name is like Alcazar or something like that. Doesn't say on the book. Like, oh, Azazel, excuse me, Azazel, which I heard about Azazel in another book or show. I don't know if it's American Horror Stories, the spin-off show or something, but they were talking about Azazel on it. But I think he's a prominent sort of Satan figure, maybe, sort of like Lucifer, or I don't know what his name was in Faust, but the Satan dude in Faust. I thought his name was Satan or what. But I think it's like the same sort of idea with Goethe's Faust. I go on so many tangents, I'm so sorry. But she makes a deal with the demon. She has to be auctioned off as a bride, and Soul, the humanoid dragon, purchases her. Little controversial, but he takes his time with her. He doesn't rush her. He knows that she's been going through some trauma and needs to heal before anything else can happen. So I really loved this book, and book 2 just came out. I will get it in the mail on Wednesday. It is The Kraken's Sacrifice, and I'm very excited. The Kraken's Sacrifice is actually my second pick for my monster romance books. Like I said, I haven't read it, but I know I'm going to like it, or hopefully I will. It's a Grumpy Sunshine monster romance, so I'm very stoked about that because I love Grumpy Sunshine tropes. And our heroine is Catalina, and our hero is Thane, like Shane, but with a th. Thane. And he is a kraken. So she has also been auctioned off during the deal with the demon. So I don't know what Catalina's predicament was, but she had to make a deal with the demon. And now she's going to be married to Thane, who is a kraken. It does say on some of the notes that Thane is a widower, so that should be interesting as well. I do like widow and widower romances. I find them to be really emotional. Like, I have a strong emotional connection to that. For some reason, I'm not a widow or whatever, but I just really like those stories. So I'm excited for The Kraken's Sacrifice, and I will have a review on it very soon. The next book I have, it's kind of interesting that I keep having these in recommendation videos because it's one of my most watched videos, and I did give it 2 stars, but I do keep thinking about this book, and it's A Lady of Rotesgrave Manor by Catherine Moon. I just talked about Catherine Moon in another book haul or trope video, which was written. So I don't want to give up on this author, but this book, I didn't necessarily love it, but I wanted something different. So I don't think my rating was like a generic fair rating. It was more so what I felt as a reader. So don't go off of my 2 thinking it's terrible, it's trash, because there's a lot of people that give this 5 stars and love it. I just thought something different when I picked it up. I will say I was kind of annoyed that this book was, I think, $17 or $19 when I got it. I definitely would have bought it on my Kindle for $4.99. I would definitely go that route. I just don't want to spend $20 for a paperback book, and I read it in like 2 days. So, you know, I didn't really get $20 money worth from reading it so quickly, but, you know, I just wanted to point that out. But it is about 357 pages, and it's pretty dense. Like you can see, it's not necessarily, it was a quick read for me, but I also kind of wanted to finish it to be over with it. But it did have some highlights that I liked. There was a section where our heroine Esther goes to sort of kind of like a sex show, or like think of it like an adult version of Cirque du Soleil, which actually is one, but like more like people just having sex on stage rather than like dancing around with pasties. So that was interesting. One of my favorite like Halloween movies is Interview with a Vampire. I want to read the series. I do like Anne Rice. And if you remember, like in the sort of the last act of Interview with a Vampire, I don't know the names, but Brad Pitt and Kristen Dunst, they go to like the theater, and it's a vampire theater, and this poor like woman has like been kidnapped, and they're basically, you know, like vampires seducing her on stage, and, you know, having her as a snack basically. And, you know, that was pretty interesting. And that's sort of what happens in A Lady of Ritzgrave Manor. There is a scene that really parallels that sexposé that happened in Interview with the Vampire. So this book, although I didn't love it, had some memorable moments. So, like I said, I was a little begrudged by the price. Go with the Kindle. Go with your Kindle. It's $4.99. Might be on sale. Don't spend $20 on a paperback for any book. I know that's a little bad. Like if there's a Julia Quinn beautiful paperback, I might get it, but for the most part, save your money. We might be in a recession soon, so who knows. I have another monster romance. This is monster in a different sort of sense. So this is a serial killer romance. If you watch any Netflix true crimes, they're always called monsters. So he's not a monster in the sense of, y'all, I just skipped this book. Reverse harem. Here's monsters, vampire, a sphinx, Jekyll and Hyde guy. It's really spicy. Lots of sex, lots of spice. Jekyll and Hyde, sphinx, stone man, like a man made of stone. Yeah. I completely skipped over that, and I'm very sorry. So we're going to go right back to Unhinged by Onley James. This is a MM romance, so 2 men. Very, very dark. It is serial killer. It does not shy away from disembodiment or unaliving someone. It's very graphic. Our hero, our vigilante more so, Adam, is troubled. He's had a troubled life. He's basically been raised by these psychiatrists that have adopted like children that are most likely going to become serial killers. But his sort of adoptive father sort of harnesses that evilness but uses it for quote unquote good. And so Adam's more of a vigilante. If you have known the Millennium series by Stieg Larsson, and then now David Rosenkrantz of Lisbeth Salander, you know, the girl with the dragon tattoo, Adam reminded me a lot of Lisbeth Salander. So he's very not really present in the world. He's uniquely wired. I wouldn't say he's I think the term now is called neurodivergent. I wouldn't say he's neurodivergent. I know in The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, Mikkel Bloomquist, who's Lisbeth's on again, off again lover, he feels that Lisbeth might have Asperger's. So there might be some correlation with how Onley viewed Adams. I'm not quite sure. I don't want to go into that. But, you know, Adam is just, he's not really all there. Like, in the sense where, you know, he's just programmed to kill. Like, he had a horrible childhood, and, you know, his forming years were taught to fight and survive, and he doesn't really know anything else. He can't really participate with everyday normal activities. And so Adam meets Noah in a very interesting way. Don't want to give too much away. It's very dark. But Noah has this strong connection to Adam. He knows that Adam can't really feel love. He's not empathetic. So Adam is definitely really lacks empathy or emotion or human connection, human bonding with all of the trauma that he's faced as a child. And so that has really influenced this romance. So it's a romance. It's extremely dark. Extremely dark. I could almost not finish it because it's so dark. So if you want a dark romance, if you're looking for a dark romance, pick up the Necessary Evil series. This is book 1. It says so here. Unhinged. He's giving, you know, serial killer Harry Styles. So I did enjoy this book. I believe I gave it either 3 or 4. So I did like it, but it's not like one where it's like, oh, I'm all warm and fuzzy. It's sort of like, oh my gosh, that was dark. That was heavy. Yeah. Oh, also, I don't know that I conveyed myself well with the whole Lisbeth Adam thing. I didn't mean any harm, so I'm really sorry if I offended anyone by that. Sorry. And the last book I have is actually an anthology, and that is The Court of the Vampire Queen by Katie Robert. I do know I have 3 Katie Roberts on here. She's just one of my most read authors, and you kind of have to go off sometimes with what you've read. And so this is actually an anthology. It's 3 books put together as one, and I don't know the series name. If it's just I think it's called the series is called, excuse me, The Court of the Vampire Queen, I believe. So the first book is Sacrifice, the second book is Air, and the third book is Queen, and you get all 3 of the books in one. I believe you can buy the books that aren't all together. I believe those are free on Kindle Unlimited. So the first one would be Sacrifice. So Sacrifice by Katie Robert, or for $4.99 you can get this for your Kindle and get all 3 in one. Or for like I got this for on sale for like 11 or 12, and I got the paperback, which I do love Katie Robert. This is such a really pretty cover. I love the cover. Like I said, I haven't read this one yet. I will read this after I finish my Jewel Quinn book. I'll read this one. I'll read all 3, and I'll do videos on each book. That's planned for, I think, the last week of October. I want to do that. And it's a reverse harem book. It's very spicy. It's vampires. It's blood play. It's a lot of, interesting things going on. But I am very excited to read it for my Halloween spooky TBR. Well, everyone, I hope you got some good recommendations from this book. I kind of jumped around a little bit. Very sorry about that. I will work on it in the future. Hopefully you stuck around with me. Have some lovely books that I think people will enjoy. Let me know in the comments below, what are some of your favorite monster romances, or what is your favorite monster or serial killer Halloween movie? Like, is there a smutty version of Halloween, like the Jamie Lee Curtis, Michael Myers? Let me know. I kind of want to read that. That would be kind of fun. Well, everyone, I hope you had a good day. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share my videos, as well as comment. I would love to talk with y'all and discuss books below. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see y'all soon. Bye, everyone.